I'm Sabrina Strickland, and I'm here with my husband,
Andreas Gomoll.
Essentially, our story dates back about 7 years ago. We both were attending our very first International Patellofemoral Study Group meeting in Chicago. And it's a pretty small group.
Many orthopedic surgeons don't really like the patella. We do.
We both had a bunch of friends there and had been invited, and basically the criteria to be invited are that you both specialize in patellofemoral surgery, but you also do patellofemoral research. And we met, and then the rest is history. We got married 4 years ago.
I think the remarkable thing was you had mentioned that we had friends there. We both had people at that meeting that we would each individually consider really close friends, and yet we had never met each other.
So basically, essentially what happened was 5 years ago, a little over 5 years ago, we were kind of sorting out what we were going to do, whether I was going to move to Boston or Andreas was going to move to New York. And since I worked at the #1 orthopedic hospital in the world,
Yes.
I recruited him here to HSS. And so you've been here 4.5 years?
Yeah.
And at some point, his daughter, after we were engaged and going to get married,
Yes.
but he hadn't announced his move yet, his daughter, who was maybe 8 at the time, said, "Dad, you know you're supposed to live in the same place." And that was a good segue for him to tell them that he was actually moving. But obviously Boston isn't that far, so we bought a place in between. And
Yeah, she's just 8 going on 28 at the time. Now she's 13 going on 30. You know, patients oftentimes ask how do we cover the entire spectrum of orthopedic surgery between the two of us? And we don't, but we pretty much cover the entire spectrum of knee surgery between the two of us. And of course there's overlap. So I would say probably 90% of the things we do, we both do. But then there are sort of the fringe, really super specialized things that one or the other does. And sometimes patients need one of these fringe things, and then we do surgery together. And that's actually a lot of fun.
so when I see a patient that potentially needs something that I do and something that he likes to do, I'll come in and do my part, he'll do his part, and then, I don't know, that's made for some really happy patients.
Yeah. And vice versa. Sometimes I see someone that needs something I do, but then, let's say, needs really complex patellofemoral reconstruction, which she does, and then we do that together.
We also share all our staff. So we have 2 amazing PAs who work for both of us. We have 2 athletic trainers who work for both of us. Our surgical scheduler schedules for both of us. And it really means that, like, when a patient calls our office, they're kind of dealing with an incredible team, because it's not just my staff or just his staff. It's, you know, this whole group that works together. And if somebody's out sick or on vacation, we have great people here that can pretty much always take care of.
Yeah.
We don't have a ton of free time, and we certainly try to make the most of it. We spend a fair amount of time in the winter in Miami, and I try to drag Andreas out paddleboarding as much as possible, but he puts his foot down if there's gale force winds, which there's a lot of drama this winter.
Maybe I'm overthinking a little bit, but there was a little bit of a struggle, her wanting to go out, but there being a small craft advisory, not sailors come into harbor, probably not the best time to go out paddleboarding, but we went a few days later.
In the winter, we typically enjoy skiing.
Yeah.
COVID's put a little bit of a damper on that with travel restrictions, but although this year it was possible.
Yeah, and the kids like to ski, and all the girls ski race.
So we have 5 kids in between us. So I have a 20-year-old who's at Cornell. She just finished her sophomore year. My twins just graduated from high school. They're almost 18. One's going to BC, one's going to Cornell, and
then I have the little ones, so freshmen in high school and in middle school.
I think sports is a little bit of a misnomer, because tons of our patients are our age, early 50s, and so a lot of patients, get injured playing tennis or actually playing a sport, but a lot of people start developing pain just going up and down the stairs or hiking and biking. If you start having pain on your Peloton, that's unacceptable. That's a real source of a lot of our patients, because they've sort of given up some things, like they've given up basketball, but they at least want to be able to ride a bike. And so, we finally broke down and bought a Peloton. I didn't want one in the house, but we have one. We have an entire gym at our Connecticut house, but in the city, there's a gym in our building. So I've fully converted Andreas to Pilates. So I started out with easy Pilates, and now he does SLT with me, which is really hard Pilates. And we really like to ski. All 3 of our kids ski raced, and
Sometimes it makes me a little queasy, and we talk about this, and we see so many patients who ski and tear their ACLs. It sometimes gives us a little pause, like, should we do this? Like, yeah, we both grew up skiing. I mean, we've both skied pretty much since we were able to walk. Funny, that I find I can sort of manage the risk in my mind, but then there are other things that we didn't grow up with, like
never
crazy
dirt
mountain
bike.
biking.
Yeah, racing.
Yeah, dirt biking.
We
That's
didn't do
good.
that.
We have dirt biking, ATV, and I don't think there are many sports that we haven't seen injuries from. So,
Yeah, nothing's perfectly safe.
no. We do have a lot of patients who travel for treatment here at HSS with us, whether that's international or national. And New York is a great city, but it can be a little overwhelming depending on where you come from. But we have a great guide. We have a whole department at HSS essentially dedicated to helping facilitate, and whether that's hotels, neighborhood, local rehab places, interpreter services. So that's really all taken care of. And you've lived here for
I've lived
half your
here since
life.
I started residency, so I've lived here since 1996, and I've kind of gone from the Upper East Side, Gramercy down to Soho, and then back to the Upper East Side. And I always think of the Upper East Side as kind of boring, but it's incredible to live close to Central Park. And so if we have free time, I would say we are always walking in Central Park. And the city, I think, is not quite as safe as it used to be, but certainly during daylight hours, I think Manhattan is a very safe place to be. Our favorite restaurants, our favorite restaurant at the moment, I think, is Quality Bistro, which is in Midtown, and they have a number of locations, and it's just awesome place to go.
Yeah.
But we still love going to some of the neighborhoods like Chinatown. We're planning on going to Dim Sum this weekend, and I would say my kids think it's more special if we cook because it's so rare.